Hey Zach, how's it going tonight, man?
Good, good. You?
Yeah, good. Looking forward to episode three of Impact ELR News and Reviews. Appreciate you joining me again tonight. What you want to jump on first?
Let's talk about what any matches coming up. Any matches
Okay.
coming up?
Yeah. Let's see. So we've got, of course, I got my Deep South event coming up at Arena down in Blakely, Georgia, on January 17th to 18th. Um, that's a match again geared toward newer shooters. We've got a full field right now and have a bunch of new shooters on that, so I'm excited about that one. We have opened registration now for the Terminus ELR Southeast Pitts match, spring Pitts match, spring, winter, whatever you want to call it. That is on practice score now, and registration is open. We've got some people registering and getting geared up for that one as soon as the arena match is over, the Deep South ELR match is over. It may be helpful me to go into just sort of the format of those matches real quick if you want me to. So,
Yeah, that would be good. That would give the shooters a chance to see what to expect when they get there.
okay, all right. So the Deep South match at Arena, that's normally a 1 day, but because of the number of shooters this year, we expanded it to a 2 day to accommodate more shooters during the winter, the shorter winter days. That will be a 30 round match, 2 targets per stage, 5 shots per target, so 3 stages. That will range for light gun roughly from 1,000, about 1,100 is probably where that one will start, out to about 2,000 or so is what the current plan is. Heavy gun, we are working to make sure that we can hit the furthest target at Arena, which should let us go on heavy gun from about 1,500 to about 2,500. We're hoping that's going to be worked out. They're working to make that happen. So we're hoping heavy gun will be go all the way out to 2,500. That'll be a 4 minute par time is what we're planning. Again, that's newer shooters. So if we end up expanding that, if we feel like we have time, I'm leaving that at our discretion to possibly expand it on the stage if we need it. The range fan is not huge, so transitions don't take a ton of time normally. So the ELR Southeast match at Pitts, that's sponsored by Terminus and the American Rights Movement. Um, that is a 2 day match, and it's in a more traditional format for an Eastern match, the format that we've run for years. That will be a 50 round match, 5 stages, 2 targets per stage, 5 shots per target. It's a little bit different in light gun. We'll shoot 4 stages on day one, and heavy gun will shoot three, and then light gun will shoot 1 stage on day two, and heavy gun will shoot 2 stages on day two. And the reason for that is to the terrain. The way this venue lays out, it's easier for us to do that. Light gun can go out to approximately 1,900 yards on day one, uh, and then go out a little further than that on day two. Heavy gun can get out to 1,900 on day one, and then get out to a little over a mile and a half on day two. We will be running both firing lines at the same time, as we've traditionally done. Heavy on the left, light on the right. And we're thinking that's going to be a 4 minute part time as well. We found that seems to keep it moving, and most shooters are able to complete that unless they have some kind of equipment malfunction. Other than that, I think it'll be fairly straightforward. Of course, if any shooters have questions, look up ELR Southeast on Facebook, follow us, like us. That way we know you're out there. Deep South ELR, reach out to me. I'm usually going to be the one answering those questions as quickly as I can. But we always want to make sure shooters know what to expect. As far as target distances, we will normally announce those. The Deep South one, we will announce them once we confirm them. That will probably be Friday afternoon before the match starts Saturday. The one thing different about the Deep South matches is it is a bring your zero match. You do not have a chance to check your 100 yard zero when you get there on Saturday or on Friday. It's a little unique in that it is just a run what you brung. You show up and it's going to be show up and ready to shoot and ready to throw down. So that's a little different. Of course, on the ELR Southeast matches, Friday, usually at noon or right shortly after noon, we open 2 targets for what we call data day. One target will normally be at about 1,000 yards, and the second target will normally be a target that's closer to one of the furthest targets on day one. And that allows the shooters to check their dope and try to confirm it if they want to. We'll also have a 100 yard zero range at the match in February at Pitts. But that's the main differences between the two. And again, Deep South is geared toward newer shooters, so it's a little bit different. So.
Going to be doing anything with the Liberty Bell this year?
Yeah, we think so. I've got to speak with the Art, and just for people that know, the Liberty Bell that actually benefits the Army Sniper Association. I'm actually wearing their shirt tonight, and I thought I'd throw it on. But we use the Liberty Bell at 1,776 yards or further. People can shoot at that. The past couple of years, it's been sponsored by Sig Sauer. They've donated one of their rifles and ammo, and every penny of that, every dime that's raised goes to the Army Sniper Association. It's used for the Fallen Sniper Fund and to assist families of the professionals that keep us safe all the time, and we really appreciate being able to do that. I haven't been able to confirm if it's going to be at Arena this next time. I've got to check with the person that runs that and helps me run it. But I think we're going to be there. We also have a rimfire version that we do at 1,776 feet with a 22 long rifle. That's 592 yards, and that one is a blast. That's probably my favorite side shooting event that I've ever participated in, because it is just a blast. We were going to try to have both of those at the Pitts match as well in February. So if you're a shooter that's planning on coming, bring a little extra money. The center fire is normally $5 a shot. The rim fire is normally, I think it is $20 for 10 shots, and then $1 a shot after that. But we'll get that announced when we put it. Again, follow the Facebook pages, and that's where we make all the major announcements, just because that's where people can get them faster. So,
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, we're looking forward to it. Anything coming up on your end, Zach?
Yeah, well, actually, I don't even think you know it yet, but I did get confirmation from Tom Sarver that all our dates for the Thunder Valley matches, both the regional support series ones and the East Coast ELR series matches, they're all confirmed, and we have those dates blocked off now, so that's really good news. There won't be any changes there.
Where can the shooters find those dates, Zach?
Right now on East Coast ELR Facebook page, those dates are up there. Same place I post a lot of these links to these videos. I was going to ask you real quick on your Pitts match. You're doing the sign-ups via practice score.
That's right.
Are we doing the paying in cash, or are we doing the pay when you register? Or
yeah, hey, thank you for asking. Yeah, because I wasn't able to set up the account for payments fast enough, and I didn't want to delay registration opening. So I made it a pay cash at the event. If a shooter wants to, they can reach out to me, and we can do Venmo or Cash App if they want to do that. But right now, it's going to be a pay at the match event. Before the next ones, I hope to have the account set up where I can accept payments through Practice Score.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, a lot of my matches run that way too. I get them out there, and I get that question. Well, if I sign up on Practice Score, am I going to have to pay right when I register? And I said, no, you can pay at the match, but
yeah,
please don't sign up if you don't plan on coming, because those spots are.
That is the one caution, please, shooters. If you're watching this and you tell us you're going to come to a match, please try your best to show up, because it's hard for us to fill in people at the last second if you can't come. And we do rely on that money a lot of times to pay a venue or to cover insurance, or to cover costs. So please, if you're a shooter, we know sometimes things happen. Family emergencies come up. We understand. We've had them too. But if you can give us enough notice, as much advance notice as possible, and if you can do everything in your power to come, if it's not an emergency that's keeping you from being there. So, yeah, that's the one risk with cash, and it makes me nervous. So,
yep, same here. But shooters are a good thing. Like I said, I find more benefit in it than I do downside to it. They usually find a way to make it right.
Right. And the good news is shooters want to do it. They want to be there too. We want to see them. They want to be there. So most of the time shooters are doing their best to be there. And we appreciate that. We know it's a lot. We know it's a lot of work to get to a match, and we appreciate people being willing to do that. So, but thanks. Yeah. Thanks for getting me to clarify that, because that has been a question. So,
yeah. Like I said, so that's what we got going. Like I said, still looking forward to once we get that Pitts match in. So that's February. March rolls around. We've got Black Bear and the Unholy Alliance headed to April, and Thunder Valley will be opening up. In the meantime, I think in February we are going to have a smaller match. I think it's around the 21st of February. There'll be a match at Thunder Valley. So,
Well, let me ask you: will there be is that probably possibly snow on the ground at that stage, or in February? Or
that's heads or tails. Shockton,
good.
uh, they're down there. They're getting south. They're getting it's a 50-50 chance. February is a good chance, a good time for snow.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, because you get those big swings in temperature, and sometimes I know here, at least in Western Pennsylvania, man, March is you got to watch March. It's one of those ones where like, oh, finally, I feel like it's spring, and then next week it's 20 degrees and you got 8 inches of snow on the ground. You're like,
Oh,
where?
I can't imagine. I've only had real snow down here twice in my whole life. One of them was this past year, and I made myself go shoot 22 rimfire in it just to shoot in the snow. I loved it. It was awesome. So the feedback was good.
I'll tell you that that groundhog. I'll tell you what he's a lying son of a gun most of the time. That guy pucks a Tawny. I said I've always been an avid groundhog hunter and have thought that one day I'd like to go get him.
Yeah,
Open
please,
season in
please.
Pennsylvania. There's no
Yeah, yeah,
close.
that's right. He's
I
probably
can't help that I know where there will be one.
that's right. I was about to say he's probably within your range, so as long as you shoot. So yeah.
Another buddy of mine though did warn me. He says, I don't know whether you want to take the man of the hour on his big day with 50,000 drunk people around.
Yeah, that could be tough. So I think I looked at the global calendar, and I think if I counted right and leaving out international matches, I think I saw 57 different opportunities for shooters to shoot ELR this year, at least. Now, that's a tentative schedule. Things can move around, but not even counting the international stuff. I think just a quick, rough count was about 57 different opportunities all over the country. So shooters have more opportunities than we've ever had. We are working to make sure that continues. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have
we're
you got
even working
any?
with a few.
So go ahead.
Yeah, we're even working with a few venues trying to get light gun only matches. That out to a mile, and try to get some of those PRS guys to give it a shot. So they figure they'll stretch those 6 BRs and 6.5 Creedmoors out there. Get them to get the bug. If we can get them to get the bug, we can get them in the door.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll have to be honest with you, Zach. I'm not sure if I want a bunch of PRS guys. Their rifles shoot quarter MOA all day, every day.
But they shoot fast, and they shoot fast too. I
Yeah,
come from those ranks. I've been there. You
that's right.
guys tell me I got 5 minutes for a
drop.
stage.
They may want us to drop the par time down to 2 minutes. So,
2 minutes, even that's a lifetime for them.
yeah, yeah.
They're,
I joke with you. I love the PRS guys. Really respect what they do. As far as equipment, you got any equipment review for us tonight? Anything you want to show us?
yeah, we'll talk about this little device. I don't know if anybody's ever seen them before.
That can be a love-hate relationship.
It is. But it's a valuable piece of technology. I use the Elite Kestrel 5700 with AB already in it.
Now, for some of our newer people, what's AB?
Applied Ballistics. That has the Applied Ballistics software already in it. The 5700 Elite allows you to put multiple guns in,
nice.
Which is great. I like the format where, especially KYL, where I might be using KYL. I help a lot of people,
sure,
bring in a loader gun or whatever. And it's so nice that I can be looking my own data up and then turn around and, okay, you're at 800 yards. I just flipped to a different gun and that target card comes up and I can give them their dope and then I go back and shoot their dope on my gun too.
Yeah, of course. That's right. So tell me a little bit, as far as the Kestrel, what kind of data does it normally give you for somebody that doesn't have one? What's it good for?
It's a weather meter. It's a complete weather meter. Give you your wind, your barometric pressures. It'll help you find the wind direction. It'll calculate moving targets for you.
Okay.
Several different ways of coming up with a lead for you. I've used that lots in PRS. I haven't convinced match directors yet in ELR to put movers out there yet, but let's get better at hitting the stationary ones before we put one sliding across the field at 3.5 miles an hour.
We're going to have to see the hit percentages pick up a little bit before we throw movers out there.
I don't know. A few of them I think I might hit better if they were moving.
Yeah, they might accidentally get in front of my bullets.
Right, exactly. But yeah, there's a lot of features in that Kestrel, I said, it's not just a ballistic solver. A lot of your range finders today uh, will link into that, be it
Mhm.
Bluetooth, because that's the other thing. The link in the Bluetooth uh, with the 5700 Elite allows you to link in. You can put your ballistic profile and build it in your
Mhm. Mhm.
phone, and then just upload it to your. It's a lot easier a lot of times to put your rifle data and stuff in there, and
Sure.
just tweak it from the
Sure.
from the Kestrel, which is fewer buttons and stuff to push and pull. But
So let me ask a little bit. So I know Kestrel, you've got the 5700 Elite with AB, but they have multiple price points that you can at least different features at different price points. But
yeah,
what?
all the way up from
Yeah.
weather with just a standard weather meter. Say you already have a ballistic solver
Mhm.
that you like
Mhm.
using, whether it be on your phone or whatever. They make Kestrels that are just weather meters. They give you
Okay.
temperature, wind speed, barometric pressure, all those uh,
Yeah.
inputs that you'll use. Um, also does your azimuth. It has a truing software in it. Once you get into like the 5700, 57 Elite, and then you have X. A lot of people, I'll spend a second on that because a lot of people,
Sure.
I think, get confused. The X is the military version.
Okay.
Um, just because it's the military version doesn't always mean it's better. Uh, it'll have some features that you might never use if uh, if that were the one you would pick. It also has some features that aren't there, like basic. I think they call it basic or quick. There's a quick solver or something, that's like, hey, I don't know much about this, but I want to plug it in and start getting data. The X doesn't even have that feature.
Okay.
Uh, it's pretty much long formula all the time.
So so let me ask, would for a first time shooter, do you feel like the 5700 with X would be too much, or do you feel like the user interface is good enough to go ahead and go with that one if you're a newer shooter?
The only advantage I could see normal shooters having with X is they say that the solver is faster.
Okay.
It's meant to be, especially at distance.
Okay.
Honestly, I've solved for targets out past 2,000 yards, and it's had it done before I could
Gotcha. Gotcha.
take the data and use it anyway. So how much faster, I don't know, but that would probably be the only uh, feature that ELR shooter may or may not get um, out of the X. Most
And
of
do
the
you?
time, you would want the 5700 or the 5700 Elite.
I gotcha.
The 5700, I think it limits you to like two or three guns versus putting in as many. And there's a few other stuff. It's just barely down the price range. It doesn't usually have the link.
Okay.
So in other words, you have to put it all in there. But there's several versions of there. Ruger has a version out there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hornady has a Kestrel version that's loaded not with AB, but it's loaded with the Ford off
Sure.
um,
Sure.
ballistic solver instead of
How
the AB.
how have you seen the durability be pretty good, and how's the battery life on?
Battery life is really good. I probably change the battery twice a year
Okay.
uh, in mine, and I do use it quite a bit. Um,
Now I know I
uh,
think I've seen where they recommend lithium ion batteries. They like that
yes,
better. Is that what you use?
yep, and maybe that's why I only do a couple of years. It's better for them. It helps the solver work faster, and it's really good. I trust the data that I get out of my Kestrel now. That's the hardest part. A lot of times, just learning to trust it and
Hmm.
and remember, good data in is good data out. Garbage data in is a yard sale coming out.
That's
Uh,
right.
I kidded my shooting partner Eric that I'd probably mention him on the show when we were talking about the Eric the the Kestrel because he's got a love hate relationship with his and uh, at the same time everybody will ask me, well, what do you do for winning this? I said, well, to be honest with you, I have the Kestrel and I have an Eric and and I lean on him quite a bit
Yeah.
to help me come up with a solution. So,
Yeah.
how
And
about you?
I have to admit, I've had a Kestrel for years. I've never used them much. I'm trying to do that more now because they are indispensable for local data for local conditions. I think they are probably one of the most indispensable tools. You sort of have to have it in your kit, or somebody, your spotter, or somebody does if you're going to do a lot of long range precision shooting. They make a great product. It's just the learning curve and me having time to sit down and really do it. But I'm trying to work on that more because it is a great tool to have. So,
Yep. How about you? What kit do you use? What do you want about tonight?
yeah. So I brought one thing I recommend. So I'm sort of going to have two things. So if you're a new shooter looking to save a little money somewhere where you can, this is an Apache case from Harbor Freight. It's a great little case. I know you can get Pelicans and everything, but for something sort of small, so this is the Apache case. It's got pick and pluck foam, and I use that for the piece of equipment I want to show you tonight, which is my Garmin chronograph. All right. So I won't go into it in detail, but the chronograph game for years was tough. You had Lab Radar come out and really change the game with having something set up. You had magnetospeed. We'll go in depth on those one day. And then Garmin came out with this and truly became a game changer. Tiny, small footprint. A lot of matches allow you to put it up at the front of your rifle, even during the match. Of course, at the range, you can't beat it for the footprint and for its accuracy. If you have it set well and in the right spot that they recommend, you almost never miss a shot. And the little tripod that comes with it, it's good. Some of the muzzle brakes we use in ELR, I have had problems with it blowing the tripod over. That's not hard. It's got a standard fixture on the bottom that'll fit any other tripod. There are all kinds of attachments that will let it fit that. But that's, throw it on whatever you want. And
yeah, I see a lot of people mount them on their rifle now.
Yes, yeah. I know there is some warnings by Garmin about the recoil sensitivity and whether that may apply on the warranties if you attach them to the rifle. I don't know how much of that was rumor and how much of that was true. So you may want to look into that with Garmin if you attach it to your rifle. I know I've attached it to some of my smaller rifles and never had a problem, and it is super convenient then. One quick thing I do want to say, if you attach it to your rifle, I think most of y'all ELR matches are going to count that in your ready to fire weight, which for light gun is 26 pounds and for heavy gun is 50 pounds. So if you're planning to attach it, make sure you're factoring that weight into your rifles. So one thing I do want to report, and you rarely hear this, but the first one I got out was literally the first order they had. And I had some issues with mine overheating. Down here in Georgia, if it stayed in the sun too long, it didn't take very long, even in Virginia, when we were shooting in Moccasin Valley. Didn't take very long for it to pop up an error message that it was too hot, that critical temperatures had been reached, and it would not record any more shots. Other people I talked to that had a Garmin did not have that problem. And I don't know what about mine. Again, it was the very first order of them that came out. I got it through an online merchant that had the first sales. I got them 30 minutes after it opened that morning, so it was the very first ones. I don't know if the heat sensor that's in it, in talking to Garmin, was a little too close to the front, if it had gotten bumped or dropped, and it let it heat up too much, because they say, temperatures up to 130 degrees, it should work. And I've shot hot, but I haven't shot that hot. I've shot it in plus 100, and it was more of a direct sunlight thing. I could shoot it in hot temperatures as long as I kept it in the shade. So it was something about heating up a sensor or something in there. But to Garmin's credit, it took me a couple of years because that was on me. I called them, talked to their customer service. They submitted a ticket, and they would say, hey, if you have that problem again, usually what was the problem was I would shoot at the end of the year, and we were shooting at the end of the summer, and it would overheat. But then I'd be going into cooler temperatures, and it'd quit doing it. And I would hope it had fixed. And then as the next year came out, so I wouldn't bother Garmin. I wouldn't take the time to send it in because I wanted to have it available to get my good data. And so eventually, though, we had a match, in fact, in 2025 now, where it did it again. I reached out to Garmin. They had the history showing that I'd reported it in the past. They sent me a prepaid envelope. I mailed it in. They've sent me this new one. I actually haven't even got to test it, but everything fires up great on it. I'm looking forward to breaking it in. But this is an indispensable. You got to have a chronograph. I'm not going to say you have to have a Garmin. It's awesome. It's a fantastic form factor, really accurate, gives really great results. I trust them. Lab Radar has a smaller one now that they've come out with. I think Caldwell has one they have. Magneto Speed still has a version that attaches to your barrel. But if you're going to get an ELR, you've either got to have a chronograph or got to know somebody that's got one. Because if you're not getting your load data, if you're not getting your muzzle velocity and your extreme spreads and standard deviations, you're going to plateau at some point. And this has been one of the biggest game changers. My annealer and this have been two of the biggest game changers in my reloading. And so I strongly recommend a good, reliable chronograph. This is the one I currently use, and I love it. So that's my equipment. And don't forget, if you need a good, reasonably priced case with easy foam, the Apache series at Harbor Freight's not bad for the money. So
nope, I use them. Actually, I made an ammo carrier out of one for my 300.
My shooting partner.
Yep,
my shoot, and I think DNA Customs, which if you don't know them yet, check them out. Awesome products for shooting. I think DNA Customs has an option now for Apache cases for them to make the interior plates and the foam, and that's an awesome option. DNA makes really phenomenal products. I'll showcase one of theirs on one of our episodes in the future, but that's one of the tonight that's two good pieces of equipment. Both of those are key pieces that I feel like you gotta have.
Even if it's not a cartridge, you need a ballistic solver.
Yeah, you gotta have a ballistic solver and something that gives you local conditions. You gotta have those two things, and you gotta need something that gives you your muzzle velocity. So, we got a few minutes left. Anything else you want to add as far as your Kestrel review tonight, or we ready to go on to the next thing?
Let's go on to the next thing, brother.
All right. So this is going to bring up our bolt closed segment. And again, on this, we do a 2.5 or 2 minutes, just like a 4-minute part time. I've got a timer going here. Zach, I'm going to let you start first this time. You're going to give me five questions, and I'm going to try to give you answers within that time period. At 2 minutes, we're going to transition. You're going to swap targets, and I'm going to swap and ask you the questions.
All right. Sounds good, my friend.
All right. And we are, give me just a second, and bolt closed.
Bolt closed. Cartridge you shoot in ELR. What cartridge are you using?
So I'm currently in light gun. I don't shoot a heavy gun. And what I shoot, I affectionately call a 9/32 Norma. It drives people crazy, but I want to add fractions. We've got decimals, we've got millimeters. I'm trying to put fractions. And with the recent popularity of the quarter bores, the 25 Creedmoors and all that, I'm hoping it's going to catch on. Yeah, but it's a 300 Norma neck down to a 7mm bullet.
Oh, awesome. Okay, why that one?
When the newer 7mm bullets were coming out that were high ballistic coefficients, I just started looking at data. I was shooting a 300 PRC. I loved it, had no problems with it, but I just like to try something different. I thought a 300 Norma case was a good parent case to build something light off of. And it was a one step to neck it down to 7mm. I didn't have to fire form. I didn't have to shape shoulders. I just went with a straight 300 Norma neck down. So I felt like that was a good compromise on not having to waste powder, primers, and all that.
Good bushing die, swap them out. It's a 7mm or 9/32.
Yep. That's right. And if you ever want to go back to 300 Norma, you're right there to go to 300 Norma.
Gotcha. Okay. If you could shoot any cartridge, choose any cartridge in ELR, what would it be? No money, no worrying about dies, components, barrel life. If you could shoot any cartridge, what would it be?
So I would probably say if I wasn't worried about money, I'd step up to heavy class and go with a 50 BMG. There's just something romantic about it. And if I didn't have to worry about money, I didn't have to worry about the care and feeding of a big 50, I would go with that.
Oh, and we all love a good TBI.
That's right. I don't want to remember the last 20 years of my life.
That's it, exactly. All right. Cartridge you were most intrigued by or would like to try or know more about?
Probably 416 Hellfire. And we're about to transition. So,
one last question.
All right.
What cartridge, if any, you think should just go away?
In ELR or at all?
At all.
At all. Ooh, I could be controversial here. But I'll stick with that's a fantastic question. Let's be controversial. I'm gonna say 308.
Oh,
yeah.
You just
shots fired.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Or not fired. If I wish they weren't fired. All right, so let's transition.
All right,
Zach. Same questions coming back at you. I'm gonna ask them in reverse order. Well, I'm gonna say that last one because it's too good. Cartridge you're most intrigued by, would like to try or know more about?
Well, I'm gonna have to give a shout out to my brother in arms, Bubba John. I really am intrigued by that 338/30 that he's been shooting. I I could see myself trying that. That to me is like the 33XC of 30 cows.
Sure,
Uh,
sure,
I would like to. I would probably give that one a shot if I could think of maybe, you know what I mean. That was one I want to look into some more.
sure. So if you could shoot any cartridge of your choice in ELR, what would it be?
Uh, I don't know. Probably 33XC might be my next one that is about as big as you can go in light class.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think that might be the one that I would pick. I would
Yeah,
go there.
very strong performer. What cartridge do you currently shoot in ELR?
300 Win Mag.
Is that out of
I
your
never
granddaddy's rifle or?
actually, believe it or not, it's a rifle I started off with one of my dad's. I built him a 300 Norma to do this,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Well, you can just use my 300 Win Mag," and I'm like, "Well, I'll just share the Norma with you." And he was like, "I'm not having no part of that." I'm like, "Really? I load all your ammo?" He's like, "Yeah, no, you can use the 300 Win Mag." So I kind of adopted it and said, "Man, this isn't half bad." I had some good luck with it,
yeah,
and I have so much data for it, and I have so much brass for it, and
yeah.
it's the Peterson makes really good long brass for it, which has solved the case head separation.
Ah, good.
It's been plaguing the belted magnums for so long.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah,
should
that's
we should do an episode just on the 300 Win Mag one night. So,
we
all
can
right.
do it. I've been loading that since I've probably one of the second or third cartridges I ever reloaded for.
And you've achieved good results with it. All right. The fun one. What cartridge, if any, should just go away?
Uh, I think like your STW maybe
Yeah.
seven
Just
millimeter
any
ST.
STW. 7 millimeter, anything.
Right. Well, no, just a 7 millimeter STW.
Okay.
Man, that thing is so overbore. It's great. Now I know you don't normally talk about overbore and thing, but man, I've never seen a bigger case with a 140 grain bullet. It's got a barrel life expectancy of about 70 now, probably about 500. But I had early on experiences helping a buddy load for one. We were loading Nosler partitions, 140 grain Nosler partitions, and it was blowing apart on whitetail deer.
Yeah.
And went to Nosler and said, "Hey, what is this with this partition bullet coming apart?" And they're like, "What velocity?" And they're like, "Oh wow, yeah, we don't guarantee that bullet at that velocity. You're gonna blow it apart."
Yeah. But I'll tell you a dirty little secret. My deer hunting rifle as a teenager, as a 17 to 25-year old, so more a little more, was a 7 millimeter STW.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to worry about drop. It was a Remington Sendero, stainless steel fluted, and I bought it at a local Walmart of all places in South Georgia. There was no reason for that rifle to be down here, but
No,
that was one of my babies. I have fond memories of it, but yes, I agree with you. It became unnecessary.
it's funny though that I would pick that one and you would like, "Oh yeah, I've got one or had one."
Well, I'll give you one even worse thing before we close out. I went to that rifle from a SKS. That was my deer hunting
Oh,
rifle before that. A
oh my.
7.62 by 39 Russian made SKS to a 7 millimeter STW. So
Right.
I don't know what I was thinking. It was the late 90s. Times were great, you know. So,
And in all honesty, I'm surprised we don't see them in ELR.
yeah, every now and then somebody was running a 28 nozzler. You sort of see
Right.
that.
Very similar.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
All right,
another one.
so a couple more minutes. Anything else you want to round up tonight? Any thoughts on the upcoming ELR season or anything sort of facing ELR you want to talk about?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing the season, the series, and the participation. I want to get some new shooters involved this year. I'm going to dedicate a lot of time myself as a match director to beating bushes and trying to get my regulars to bring out a friend. If everybody brings out a friend, and we can get some real traction behind ELR. I know there's some people we've talked about working behind the scenes to
Mm-hmm.
kind of unify this across the country, and we've made some strides there that are
Good.
going to make it a lot simpler for you to show up somewhere, see something familiar when it comes to ELR, and it's not all going to be Greek, and you're going to
Sure.
see very similar uh, results, and be able to consistently apply rules, and it's going to be a good thing. I think 2026 is going to be a good year. I think for ELR, it's going to drastically change quickly, and
I think you're
for
right.
the
I think
good.
it'll be a watershed year. One last thing I want to wind up with: if you're a new shooter or somebody that's interested in the ELR, don't let what we're talking about scare you off. You don't have to have some fancy cartridge with a weird loading and some super put together rifle to do this. Come out and try it. I don't care if you show up even with a 308, right? Come out and try
Or
it.
your granddad's 300 Win Mag.
Yes, that's right. I mean, if you show up with a 308, I'll probably let you shoot my rifle just because it's going to break my heart that you came with that. But come with it. I guarantee you the ELR crowd will help you. You'll get a chance to use almost anything that's there probably. In any match I've ever been to, that's the experience I've had. So if you're a newer shooter thinking about it, come out. You won't find a better crowd of people. Bring whatever you've got.
Yep.
We'll
Yep.
try anything, and you can. And I usually recommend people don't buy invest heavily until they've come out to a match. Come out and see what works, see what people are using. Ask,
Right. Bring out one MOA rifle.
Yep.
That has an adjustable scope. And we'll get you to try to hit some stuff.
Yep, that's right. All right, Zach. Well, we'll catch you again on the next one. We'll try to put another one out in about 2 weeks. In the meantime, y'all like, subscribe, comment below. Tell us we're idiots. Don't tell us we're right, because that'll go straight to our heads. But anything else you want to know about, we'll do our best to watch the comments and try to help. So y'all let us know. And this is for Impact ELR News and Reviews. We're going to be done tonight.
Yep.
Thank you, Zach.
Yep. Have a good evening.
All right.